Inter Milan advances to the final after shocking Barcelona in extra time. Following a thrilling 4-3 victory over Barcelona on Tuesday, Inter Milan substitute Davide Fratesi scored the game-winning goal in extra time to advance his team to the Champions League final. Deep in added time, Francesco Acerbi had saved them from elimination with an incredible equalizer. In an unforgettable semi-final, Fratesi's goal gave Inter a resounding 7-6 aggregate victory. Inter dominated the opening 45 minutes and took a 2-goal lead in the 21st minute through a counter goal from Lautaro Martinez. Just before halftime, Hakan Çalhanoğlu added to the lead with a penalty. But in the second half, Barca came alive as Eric Garcia and Dani Olmo both scored goals within 6 minutes to tie the game. Rafinha's close-range goal in the 87th minute gave the Catalans the impression that they had won. However, during Inter's frantic attempt to equalize, Dumfries saw 37-year-old Acerbi inside the box, and he scored his first goal in Europe with a first-time shot. Fratesi told Sky Sports, "I'm lucky to have finished the game because I screamed so much that I saw everything black. I must give the physiotherapists credit because I wasn't feeling well in the last few days. To them, I dedicate the victory. It's amazing. I'm at a loss for words." The extraordinary occurred tonight. Champions League action. A thrilling 6-goal match between Barcelona and Inter. Marcus Thuram's daring back-heel flick turned in Denzel Dumfries' low cross to give Inter the fastest goal in a last-four encounter in the competition's history. Shocking the hosts after just 30 seconds. Fullback from the Netherlands, it appeared as though Barca had a mountain to climb as Dumfries doubled the visitors' lead with an incredible acrobatic volley 20 minutes later. However, the game was changed when the enchanted and gorgeous Lamine Yamal used his arsenal of tricks. As he moved inside and dribbled past multiple players before unleashing a beautiful left-foot strike that kissed the post before settling in the net, he scored a fantastic reply in the 24th minute. After Rafinha headed down Pedri's crossfield ball, Ferran Torres scored the equalizer for the home team from close range in the 38th minute, capping an exciting first half. However, the outstanding Dumfries restored Inter's lead in the 63rd minute by rising highest to meet Hakan Çalhanoğlu's corner and scoring his second goal of the evening. However, Barca reacted once more in spectacular fashion, tying the score 2 minutes later when Rafinha's incredible 25-yard shot struck. The bar bounced off Inter custodian Jan Sommer's back and went down and into the net. With the second leg scheduled on Tuesday at Milan San Siro, the tie is still up in the air after the breathless affair. At the end of the season, Jamie Vardy will depart Leicester City. The already relegated Premier League team stated on Thursday that Jamie Vardy will depart Leicester City at the end of the current campaign. 2016 league title victory. In addition to winning 2 championship crowns, the FA Cup, and the Community Shield with the Foxes, the England international has been praised as their greatest ever player in a club statement. This has not only been really difficult for me to write, but also a really difficult decision to make, Vardy stated in a video posted on his social media accounts. "I've been here so long that I truly never thought it would end. For 13 years, Leicester City has been my life, my extended family, and my second home. My family and I place a great deal of importance on the club, the city, and the people. Our children have been fortunate enough to live in Leicester for such a long time, and it has influenced their life. However, it's time for me to say goodbye. My only regret, and I'm devastated about this, is that I'm not saying farewell to the fans on the back of a much better season. This isn't how I intended my time here to end. Hopefully Leicester will have a couple more before the season ends, and many more after that. Despite my advanced age of 38, I still have the drive and aspirations to accomplish much more." Burnley and Leeds United were promoted to the Premier League. After Scott Parker's team defeated Sheffield United, who were in third position. On Monday, Leeds United and Burnley were promoted to the Premier League. Burnley's 2-1 victory at Turf Moor put them on 94 points as well, guaranteeing Sheffield United could no longer surpass their rivals' total. Leeds advanced to 94 points with a 6-0 victory against Stoke City on Monday afternoon. I'm unable to speak. Josh Brownhill, the captain of Burnley, who scored both of his team's goals on Monday, remarked, "All that hard work this season. People have written us off and called us dull on several occasions. The Premier League is the result of our boredom. An entire team is needed. It needs everyone, not just a goalie and a back four. I doubt many of the guys will get much sleep. For the guys who haven't played Premier League football, I'm ecstatic. It feels more unique this time. As a manager, I've encountered certain difficulties. Knowing that there was a significant obstacle ahead, I made the decision to take a year off before entering this. I feel delighted and relieved." Liverpool wants to win as much as possible in the Premier League. Ben Latty, the chief commercial officer of Liverpool, has disclosed that preparations are already underway to maximize the value of the team's Premier League title victory. The owning group of Liverpool, Fenway Sports Group (FSG), manages the team sustainably. This implies that profits are reinvested in the team, with the goal being to play as well as possible. The Reds are anticipated to have a busy summer. Together with Arne Slot, sporting director Richard Hughes has now had a complete campaign to evaluate the Liverpool roster and determine what the team's priorities should be. Starting with a left back and a number 9 would seem like a sensible idea. Andy Robertson's performances have been below his best, while Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota have shown erratic play. A team that leads the Premier League by 15 points with 4 games left should have the means to improve after spending little money in the slot era thus far. Federico Chiesa was the lone player Liverpool acquired last summer. We're already planning for the future and figuring out how to effectively capitalize on this achievement to enable more on-pitch success and sustain our commercial development. Liverpool wins the Premier League after crushing Tottenham. On a historic Sunday at Anfield, Liverpool came back from a goal down to smash Tottenham Hotspur 5-1 and win the Premier League title. Dominic Solanke put Tottenham ahead in the 12th minute, rocking Liverpool, who needed just 1 point to secure a record-tying 20th English crown with 4 games left. However, Liverpool responded with a Luis Diaz tap-in, a thunderbolt from Alexis McAllister, and a Cody Gakpo shot just before halftime, only momentarily putting an end to the title celebration. Mohamed Salah scored a low shot in the second half to snap a 6-match scoring drought. With 82 points from 34 games, Liverpool has now tied Manchester United's record for the most English crowns, while Arsenal is well behind with 67. Even though it was really a formality prior to Sunday's match, Liverpool made sure the cake was iced in front of their own devoted supporters. Dutchman Arne Slot is only the 5th manager in English football history to win the Premier League title in his first season. The fans more than made up for that on Sunday as they sang club hymns from their choir book. Why this is the biggest Clásico in years between Barcelona and Realmadrid. In any season, El Clásico is one of the most watched games worldwide and is always a big event. However, this is one of the most important games in years because Barcelona and Real Madrid are playing so late in the season and the La Liga title is still up for grabs. These two titans are the only 2 teams still in the running to win the 2024-25 Spanish Championship when they square off in Barcelona's Olympic Stadium on Sunday, streamed live on ESPN Plus at 10:15 a.m. ET. For players like Kylian Mbappé and Lamine Yamal, losing to their own club's fierce rivals is an unimaginable alternative if winning the title alone isn't enough incentive. Every time Barcelona has faced Madrid this season, they have won. But following their crushing loss to Inter Milan in an all-time classic UEFA Champions League semi-final earlier this week, it would be a harsh way to end coach Hansi Flick's first season in command if they couldn't turn their 4-point lead into a trophy. A season without any trophies is a complete catastrophe for Madrid. However, in what seems to be his last season at the club, famous coach Carlo Ancelotti is facing that possibility. Antonio Rudiger scores the game-winning goal as Realmadrid defeats Real Sociedad. The home crowd sent out tremendous cheers as substitute Rudiger soared highest to meet Arda Güler's corner in the 115th minute and hooked a header beyond visiting keeper Alex Ramiro. Ander Barrenetxea gave Sociedad the lead in the 16th minute, but they still had to overcome a 1-0 deficit from the first leg. However, a brilliant chip in the 30th minute from young Brazilian scorer Endrick put the Madrid team back ahead on aggregate. The visitors took the lead again in the 72nd minute, thanks to an own goal from David Alaba, which also set off an astonishing scoring run in the game's spectacular finish. 8 minutes later, Mikel Oyarzabal gave Sociedad a 3-1 lead and a 3-2 overall victory. Oyarzabal, the captain of Sociedad, pushed his team ahead with a header in additional time, forcing extra time at the Bernabeu. But the drama didn't end there. Rudiger, however, crushed their hearts in the extra time to make the final score 5-4. As they sit 3 points behind La Liga leaders Barcelona, play Arsenal in the Champions League quarter-finals, and aim to win the Copa del Rey for the 21st time, Madrid's quest for a first treble is still alive. Manchester City closes up on Champions League spot by shocking Villa late. In their desperate attempt to qualify for the Champions League next season, Manchester City defeated Aston Villa 2-1 on Tuesday thanks to a goal deep in injury time from Matheus Nunes. After Marcus Rashford's penalty negated Bernardo Silva's goal in the first half, it looked like the two clubs would draw. However, Nunes' goal in the 94th minute from Jeremy Doku's cross moved City up 2 spots to 3rd place in the standings with 61 points. We are in the final 4 or 5 games and a Champions League contender for qualification. So I'm really happy for the goal that we scored at the end. Guardiola told Sky Sports, "We are not used to scoring late winners." Nunes said, "Very important," to Sky Sports. "We came into this game with the mindset that we needed to win, and this opponent was really tough, and so it came to pass." Perfect timing. With the final shot of the match, Nunes scored his first league goal for the team, sending ecstatic City supporters to their feet. Villa manager Unai Emery appeared devastated as Guardiola shook 2 fists wildly in excitement. Manchester City late goal versus Everton increased their chances of finishing in top 4. When Manchester City defeated Everton 2-0 in their Premier League match at Goodison Park on Saturday, goals from Nico O'Reilly and Mateo Kovacic in the closing 5 minutes put them 1 step closer to playing in the Champions League the following season. After connecting with Matheus Nunes' low cross, O'Reilly punched the ball home from 4 meters out, and Kovacic then blasted in the second from the box's edge to secure the victory. For 85 minutes, City struggled to generate clear-cut opportunities. City boss Pep Guardiola would be relieved as his team faced the ferocious hosts. Everton got off to a strong start in the second half thanks to a fantastic point-blank save by City custodian Stefan Ortega that stopped Jared Branthwaite's header. However, in the 52nd minute, Tarkowski was injured. Omar Marmoush was unable to take advantage of Everton substitute Michael Keane's mistake when he attempted to head the ball back to Jordan Pickford, because the goalie deftly blocked the Egyptians' attempt. However, the home team lost the battle after O'Reilly opened the scoring as the visitors tightened their hold on the game in the closing minutes. Manchester City advanced to their third consecutive FA Cup final. With goals from Rico Lewis and Josko Gvardiol, Manchester City defeated Nottingham Forest 2-0 at Wembley on Sunday to go to their third consecutive FA Cup final and keep their hopes of avoiding a rare season without a trophy alive. Within 2 minutes, Lewis silenced the Forest supporters with a goal after being passed by the powerful Mateo Kovacic and given time and space to shoot into the bottom corner. Giving up an early goal was definitely not part of Forest's strategy. Minutes later, Gvardiol got up to nod home an Omar Marmoush corner for his 6th goal of the season, punishing City. Morgan Gibbs-White nearly pulled one back with a shot off the bar, with City custodian Stefan Ortega beaten as Forest, looking to make it to their first FA Cup final since 1991, came close. With 20 minutes remaining, Gibbs-White struck the post once more after Gvardiol was caught in possession, rounded Ortega but unable to finish from a close angle. Forest supporters started to feel that it was simply not their day, as substitute Taiwo Awoniyi also struck the bar before Ortega stopped Gibbs-White's subsequent header. They will now play Crystal Palace, who defeated Aston Villa 3-0 on Saturday, in the final on May 17th. Manchester United dominates Bilbao as they go closer to the European final. Manchester United defeated Athletic Club 3-0 in the first leg of the semi-finals in Bilbao on Thursday, putting the Premier League team on the verge of the Europa League final thanks to 3 goals in the first half. 30 minutes in, experienced midfielder Casemiro scored at the back post to give the visitors the lead in a boisterous San Mimi's atmosphere where fans were hoping for their first-ever European trophy. 5 minutes later, Athletic defender Danny Vivian was sent off for fouling Rasmus Højlund in the penalty area, and Bruno Fernandes scored the subsequent penalty kick to give Man United, who are having a terrible domestic season, yet another lift. Man United coasted to the most unexpected first-leg victory after Athletic, who have the added motivation of hosting the final at their stadium on May 21st, was unable to create a reaction in the second half with diminished numbers. Harry Maguire, the defender for United, told TNT Sports, "Of course it's a great start to get a victory here and score 3 goals, and with a clean sheet. Everyone will be counting on us to succeed, and we will be under a lot of pressure. Proper preparation is essential, and doing so will greatly increase our chances. It's not finished, but it's 1 foot in the final." Mason Mount double secures Manchester United's place in the Europa League final. After a 4-1 semi-final victory over Athletic Club on Thursday, Manchester United secured their place in the Europa League final. Mason Mount scored twice to give the home team a 7-1 aggregate victory and a chance to earn some hardware this season. However, in the 31st minute, Mikel Joragizar put Athletic on the scoreboard. In the 72nd minute, Mount tied the score for United by turning and shooting past goalie Julen Agirrezabala after latching onto a ball from Lenny Yoro. In the 85th minute, Rasmus Højlund put the game out of reach when Amad Diallo cut the ball back from the byline into the 6-yard box, and the Dane tapped into an empty net. 7 minutes later, Casemiro headed home from a free kick. When Mount saw Agirrezabala far out of his net and struck a shot from just inside the visitors' half in extra time, he completed his double. Today, it paid off, and I came on and affected the game. I kept going, working hard in training every day, trying to stay positive and trying to make an impact when I had the chance. It was too long. I simply tried to calm it down because it was a tight game when I entered. On May 21st, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur will square off in an All-Premier League final at San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao. Manchester United defeats 10-man Bournemouth thanks to Rasmus Højlund. After a contentious dismissal, Manchester United played the final half-hour with 10 men, but Rasmus Højlund scored an equalizer deep into stoppage time to salvage a 1-1 away draw at Bournemouth in the Premier League. After 6 of 9 additional minutes at Vitality Stadium, Højlund saved United from a 16th loss of the season after Antoine Semenyo had given the home team the lead in the 23rd. After a VAR review of a slip-sliding tackle on Noussair Mazraoui, the card was increased from yellow to red, and Bournemouth lost forward Evanilson in the 70th minute. This win would have meant a lot to us, and it is really disheartening. A point makes a big difference. Andoni Iraola, the manager of Bournemouth, stated, Evanilson had just slipped, according to Iraola, and the team would be contesting the resulting 3-match suspension. We will definitely file an appeal. It's only common sense. Casemiro kicks Evanilson in the chest during the first half. You shouldn't get a red card for this, in my opinion, he remarked. It's annoying. For the most part, we controlled the game. Even though we were reduced to 10 men, I thought we were still comfortable. Our defense was excellent. It's really annoying that we gave up the goal. To be honest, it feels like a loss. Arsenal is in advanced negotiations to acquire a La Liga player. Despite rumors that Realmadrid is interested, Arsenal is further along in their negotiations to recruit Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad this summer. Despite Real Madrid's interest, James Ollie of ESPN writes that Arsenal is certain Martin Zubimendi will be their first summer acquisition in the forthcoming window. According to ESPN sources, Mikel Arteta, a big fan of Zubimendi, and sporting director Andrea Berta both feel that the midfielder would assist bolster the team's midfield, meaning that discussions for the player are advanced. Although Zubimendi's arrival at the Emirates Stadium this summer is widely expected, Real Madrid's interest is probably going to grow if Carlo Ancelotti is replaced as head coach by Xabi Alonso. Ole continues by saying that in order to increase their spending power, Arsenal is willing to let go of some players and has the money to recruit a striker and a wide forward this summer. Since then, there has been a lot of talk about Real Madrid trying to sabotage the transfer, but it appears that the Gunners are still the clear favorites. Right now, Zubimendi is a vital member of the team and the nation. The 26-year-old played 4 games, including 45 crucial minutes to win the final after Rodri injury, and was a mainstay in the Spain side when they won Euro 2024. Messi scores, but Minnesota thrashes Miami. Even though Lionel Messi scored his 5th goal of the season, Inter Miami was defeated 4-1 by Minnesota United in St. Paul on Saturday. Anthony Markanich, Robin Lod, and Bongokula Longwain all scored goals to give Inter Miami their worst defeat in all of Messi's games. Minnesota has won consecutive games after defeating Austin 3-0 last time out to end a 3-game losing streak. Due to illness, Miami was missing left winger Fafa Picault and forward Luis Suarez, who missed the trip for personal reasons. In the 32nd minute, Longwain gave Minnesota a 1-0 lead with his first goal of the season. In first-half stoppage time, Markanich scored his 3rd goal of his 4-year MLS career and his 2nd goal in as many games, making it 2-0. After receiving a cross from Jordi Alba, Messi scored in the 48th minute by rolling a shot from the left center of the area over diving goalkeeper Dane St. Clair's outstretched arm and into the back post. Marcelo Weigand of Miami scored an own goal to make it 3-1. Lod scored his first goal of the season in the 70th minute after running onto a feed from Tani Oluwase and finishing with a single touch. Newcastle down 10-man Chelsea to close in on Champions League. Newcastle United defeated Chelsea 2-0 at home on Sunday, thanks to goals from Sandro Tonali early on and Bruno Guimaraes late on. The Magpies are now one step closer to playing in the Champions League next season after Blues striker Nicholas Jackson was sent off in the first half. Newcastle now sits in third place after the victory. With 2 games remaining, Chelsea, who currently hold the 5th and final Champions League position, is 3 games ahead. Nottingham Forest, who play already relegated Leicester City later on Sunday, is 2 points behind Aston Villa, who are tied with Chelsea on points. Although Newcastle's victory was well-deserved, Jackson's outburst was the game-winning moment. In the second minute, Tonali, a midfielder, delighted the home crowd as they enjoyed the beautiful sunshine by ghosting in at the far post to steer in a pass from Jacob Murphy, giving the Blues a poor start. Chelsea dominated the second half, despite being reduced to 10 men, forcing Eddie Howe to make several changes to strengthen the home team's defense. Guimaraes eventually sealed the 3 points in the 90th minute after enduring Chelsea's assault with a deflected shot from outside the box. Dembélé demonstrates to Arsenal that they are lacking a capable forward. In Tuesday's 1-0 semi-final first-leg victory over Arsenal at the Emirates, Ousmane Dembélé scored the lone goal, giving Paris Saint-Germain a significant UEFA Champions League edge. With 45 goal involvements in 45 games this season, Dembélé, who gave PSG a scare by hobbling off in the second half, gives Luis Enrique's squad a great chance to advance to the Munich final. However, in order to allow the Premier League team to fly to Paris with the possibility of a second-leg comeback, PSG let Arsenal off the hook when Bradley Barcola and Gonzalo Ramos both missed clear chances to score a second in the closing 5 minutes. Mikel Merino's goal for the Gunners was disallowed for offside in the second half, while Gianluigi Donnarumma, the custodian for PSG, made vital stops against Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard to keep the home team from scoring. The second leg is still in play, even though PSG has a tiny edge because they failed to score a second goal. After Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus suffered season-ending injuries, Merino has performed better than expected as an Arsenal centre-forward. However, due to Thomas Partey's suspension, Merino was forced to return to his traditional midfield position as Trossard played through the middle. Paris Saint-Germain defeats Arsenal to go to Champions League final against Inter. After surviving an early Arsenal storm, Paris Saint-Germain advanced to the Champions League final on Wednesday with a 2-1 victory, 3-1 overall, thanks to goals from Fabian Ruiz and Achraf Hakimi. Gianluigi Donnarumma made a pair of incredible saves as Arsenal got off to a great start, but PSG kept up with the attacks early on. Even though Bukayo Saka brought one back 14 minutes from time, the French champions never faltered, and their triumph seemed inevitable. Vitinha missed a penalty in the second half. Teenager Désiré Doué wasted a great chance by tamely hitting straight at David Raya when clear through, while Kvicha Kvaratskhelia came close with a curling strike that rattled the post. Ruiz took a beautiful touch before launching a ferocious drive past Raya to send the home crowd into raptures after Thomas Partey botched a defensive header from a set piece and accidentally flicked the ball into his path. In 46 Champions League games, it was the Spaniards' first goal. But in the 72nd minute, after a 1-2 with Dembélé, who had just come off the bench, Hakimi blasted the ball past the Arsenal keeper to seal the victory. At the restart, PSG supporters in the Boulogne Cop yelled, "We're in the final, we're in the final," as their team performed confidently.